August 1st. They say, new month, new you. But that evening, after Lyra had unknowingly lifted our spirits, reality returned the moment we were alone. He found something to complain about and went to bed frustrated. The peace hadn't even lasted a full day. It started around 5 p.m. We had planned to meet near the mall after he picked up an order from Stocks, so we could do our weekly grocery shopping. Lyra and I had taken a nap earlier, and she had trouble waking up. I had hoped to get to the mall early to buy her a warm sweater. We were going to a nighttime outdoor light show, and her mom had forgotten to pack a jacket. I didn't want her catching cold. Time slipped through my fingers. At 5 p.m., he texted to say he had arrived. I replied that we were at Old Navy and just about to pay. The cashier, busy on a phone call with another customer, didn't assist us immediately. When she noticed I was in a rush, she handed the call to her colleague and tried to start a conversation. I politely declined, saying I was in a hurry. We paid and rushed out. I walked so fast Lyra was nearly running to keep up. I knew Severick would be furious. Just before we exited, I saw him walking toward the parking lot. Lyra dashed ahead and leapt into his arms. He smiled at her and hugged her, but I saw it, that underlying annoyance simmering beneath the surface. Once we reached the car, I realized I had left the keys behind at the store. I sprinted back. They were still at the counter where Lyra had tried on jackets. The cashier noticed and asked if I'd forgotten something. I just held up the keys and left. Back at the car, I didn't say anything to him. I spoke to Lyra instead, joking about the keys. The keys were right where you tried on that pink jacket you didn't choose. She giggled. By the pink one? Exactly. Before I opened the car door, I reminded myself, I am not the problem. It is not my fault. I cannot change his mood. Phoenix. Stay positive. Focus on God and His promises. During grocery shopping, Lyra and I kept our spirits up, laughing, chatting, ignoring the storm cloud trailing beside us. Eventually, he began to thaw, as though the warmth of our joy chipped away at his icy exterior. Eventually, he lightened up. It looked forced, but he tried. I could see he was making the effort, perhaps for Lyra's sake or because we were in public. By the time we left the store, he was driving us home like a different person. Once we got home, we had dinner and got ready for the light show. On the highway, we ran into roadblocks. The usual exit was closed, and we lost a few minutes trying to find another route. His mood darkened again. In the car, Lyra and I played games, pointed at the massive, breathtaking orange moon hanging in the sky. Lyra and I played a game, guessing where it would appear next. Left, right, behind a tree. He didn't join us, too busy being annoyed over a few lost minutes. She invited him to play riddles. He coldly said no. I reassured her, saying, Uncle's concentrating on the road. We hit a traffic jam because of an accident. Another delay, again. Lyra suggested riddles. Again, he said no. We stopped for ice cream as planned. Lyra and I took pictures and invited him, but he refused, even when Lyra excitedly asked for a photo with him. I wanted to tell him he was missing a memory, but I bit my tongue. We got lost again, and found our way to the right parking lot after a wrong turn led us through a campground. I stayed quiet, just enjoying my ice cream with Lyra. As we parked, I leaned over to kiss him, just to ground us, reconnect before the event. He brushed me away and in a cold voice said,
We don't have time for that.
We don't have time for that. I felt my heart collapse in my chest. Even Lyra heard it. My shame burned hot. A kiss is 5 seconds. That's all. He stormed out of the car without unlocking it, leaving the engine running. I had to call out, Love, you forgot the keys. He came back, grabbed the keys, and vanished again. He walked ahead, never turning to see if we followed. At the entrance, an attendant confirmed we were on time, so we ended up waiting anyway. I wanted to shout, "See? We weren't late." That kiss wouldn't have ruined anything, but I didn't. Inside, he held Lyra's hand when she asked. She asked what he liked best so far. He responded flatly,
Home.
"Really?" she said, a little bit annoyed. She wasn't having it and asked again. He gave her a proper answer eventually. I stayed behind them, filming quietly the experience for Lyra's memories. He snapped at me.
Do you have to film everything? You can't even enjoy the moment.
I looked him in the eye. I am enjoying. I didn't say what I wanted to. Enjoying in my own way. Because if I focused on you, I wouldn't enjoy anything at all. We rode home in silence. Lyra slept in the back. We didn't speak until we got home. We got ready for bed. Then, just before turning in, he started again.
Why are you keeping these boxes here? They're in the way.
I calmly explained they were for charity, to pack clothes he no longer wanted.
They've been here for months. This can't go on.
Are you angry right now?
No, I'm not.
I pointed out how he keeps bags in the room too, not because they bother me, but to show how petty the conversation had become. Clearly annoyed. He said,
Fine. I'll take them out tomorrow.
I stayed calm, didn't cry, didn't yell. Thank God for that strength. We climbed into bed. He lay stiffly on his back. I moved toward him, rested my head on his shoulder. He didn't move. I whispered, "You say you're not angry, but your actions say otherwise." I gently lifted his heavy hand, placed it in mine. Still nothing. Eventually, I turned away and tried to sleep. Hours later, he turned toward me, placed his rigid arm across me. There was no tenderness in the gesture. It felt like a burden. The next morning, he kissed me before leaving for work. But what does a kiss mean when there's no conversation? August 3rd, Thursday night. Before bed, I asked him, "Can we talk?"
Yes.
He said. "When is this going to stop?" Silence. "Are you going to answer me?" He finally said.
Are you done with the questions?
I asked again. "When will this end?" He deflected again.
Are we going to pray or not?
So I took his hand and began to pray. My heart broke and I cried inside. Because the man who was supposed to protect me is the one hurting me the most. August 4th. Yesterday, I sent him this message. "Hello, love. You know I'm not the type to constantly throw your flaws in your face, but this time I felt the need to express myself. Your hypocrisy toward me doesn't even surprise me anymore. You woke me up this morning when you were moving bags, and yet on Monday you scolded me for calling my parents to breakfast, even though Lyra wasn't even awake. You always act like you're the most considerate person. But what about last night? You rejected my kiss in front of your niece, rushed us out, and we weren't even late. Then when Lyra asked you your favorite part, you said, home. Really? You booked the event. You mocked me for filming, yet you were frustrated the entire time. I was enjoying myself for her. Despite all this, I'm not mad. I care about you. And I won't sulk just because you did something I didn't like. I tell you how I feel and I move on. Have a lovely afternoon. From your little wife." He read it, said nothing, just silence. Notes from the following days. Saturday, August 5th, our anniversary. I never imagined spending my first wedding anniversary in silence. Yes, complete silence. I asked him to talk. I told him how hard this has been, how much I wanted to connect. I suggested watching our wedding video with Lyra. He said nothing. Sunday. No affection, no communication. I went to church. He didn't ask how it went. Monday. Still no words. That night, He came to bed late and crossed his arms again. I turned toward him, but he didn't offer his hand. Later, he placed an arm around me, but it felt strange, forced. Tuesday. Still silent. He told me he's taking a week off starting next Tuesday. I said, "Oh, that's great. But is it really?" We're not even speaking. We spent our first anniversary in complete silence. Wednesday. Still nothing. Thursday. He texted me from work to say,
Be ready, we're going to the summer festival tonight.
"It sounds sweet, but we haven't talked in days." I feel disconnected. I don't know what this is anymore. August 13th. That evening, I asked if we could talk. He said yes, but this time I didn't go in unarmed. Not with emotions spilling out unchecked, not with my voice breaking under pressure. I came prepared. I had written everything down. I needed to say what was on my heart without being interrupted, dismissed, or made to feel small. I couldn't bear to spend another hour pouring myself out to someone who had turned to stone. So I read it aloud, every word steady and calm. "My love, our relationship means so much to me, and the truth is, I don't feel good about where we are right now. In a relationship, we're either growing together or slowly drifting apart. And lately, I feel like we're not moving. We've stopped showing up for one another. We've grown cold, and the support that used to be there, it feels like it's fading. I know we won't always agree. That's normal. But the way we've been handling conflict, the silent treatment, the shutting down, it's not love. It's not growth. And it's certainly not how two people build a life together. I'm not asking you to change who you are. I'm asking you to reflect, to see how this silence, this distance, is slowly robbing us of the joy we once shared. We have dreams, you and I, plans. And right now, it feels like everything's on hold, like we're standing still. Each day like this chips away at us. The longer we stay quiet, the heavier our hearts grow. And with each unspoken word, I feel the respect between us beginning to wither. I don't want that. I refuse to let that happen. God teaches us to forgive, to seek forgiveness and offer it, because bitterness will harden even the softest heart. So today, I ask for your forgiveness, not because I've done everything right, but because I want us to start again, to laugh again, to explore, to grow, to make love, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, as one. Despite everything, I still believe in us, because God doesn't make mistakes. I believe we're better together, and I know we can make it if we choose to try. I want to hear what's on your heart too. When would you like us to talk? When I finished, there was a moment, just a brief one, where I thought he might respond with the softness I had prayed for. Instead, he bristled. He said he would answer. But what followed wasn't a reply. It was an eruption, a full-blown argument. And now, he's back behind the wall, silent, unreachable. I don't know when or how we'll talk again. But I do know this. I spoke from love, from hope, from a place that still wants to believe we haven't lost everything yet. August 31st. We went weeks without talking, not from lack of trying on my part, but because he refused to talk. Today is Thursday night, and another entire week has passed in silence. What happened tonight just added to the frustration that was already weighing so heavily on me. I don't understand how my husband expects to solve our problems with silent treatment. It doesn't heal. It just buries us further under the rubble. Ironically, the night began well. We were laughing, truly laughing. One of those rare moments when joy finds its way into our space. I casually mentioned something simple, something I thought would make him smile. I told him that one of my very close friends loved our wedding video, but something in him shifted immediately. His smile faded. His eyes hardened. I didn't want to get into it during our nightly routine, so I waited. Once we were done, I reached for his hands and looked at him gently. "I'm sorry I sent the video to my friend," I said softly. "I didn't know it would hurt you like this." His voice came back sharp, slicing through the stillness.
I feel like I'm married to two people.
That made me chuckle inside, because ironically, he's the one with two personalities, two people. If only he could see himself, so sweet and charming to the world, but behind closed doors, a man who flickers between warmth and cruelty like a faulty light bulb, so cruel and dismissive at home that no one could ever stand him if only they knew really who is Severica Mortis. Home, that's where his true colors show. With disgust in his tone, he added,
Why would you send the video without asking me first? I'm in that video too.
"I'm sorry," I repeated. "I didn't think it would bother you. She's a close friend." But it wasn't enough. He snapped.
So now that it's already done, you want to apologize? Why didn't you think about it before you sent it? It's only now that I show you I'm upset that you realize it was wrong.
I looked at him, stunned. Before answering, I told myself, "Phoenix, stay calm." Then I said, "Yes, when I sent it, I honestly didn't think of it that way. She is my friend." He didn't want to hear it, and his anger didn't fade. He gathered his things and left me standing alone in the bathroom. I stood there feeling hollow, not because he was upset, but because even my sincere apology meant nothing to him. It felt like he wanted me to suffer more, as if saying "I'm sorry" wasn't punishment enough. For the next 2 days, I tried to bridge the gap. I sat next to him. He moved away. I approached him with softness. He recoiled with coldness. Eventually, I stopped trying. Now we lived like strangers sharing an apartment. No words, no warmth, no effort. How can this be? To the outside world, we're supposed to be in our honeymoon phase. But there we were, not even speaking. He's killing the joy in me little by little, and he can't even see it. What a shame. Today marks a full week. And as always, I'm the one who feels the urge to break the silence. The one who wants to fix things. I won't lie. This has been the most challenging relationship I've ever been in. He is the most emotionally insensitive person I have ever known. And yet, he's my husband. And at this moment, I still love him. Only God can heal him. And I pray he will. I ended up initiating the talk again, like always, but nothing was resolved. No apology, no clarity, no conclusion, just more confusion and more silence.